McFry is the cockadoodle rooster. I am the rooster. So we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all do things that we're not proud of, and I've done some things that I deeply regret. I'm going to share with you the most regretful things that I've done in my life. Just so in the future, when you hear me talk about politics or any kind of controversial issues, anything, that's debatable, you can know that whatever I tell you is the real deal. That's what I believe. It's not bullshit. I'm not trying to angle you so you can, I'm not trying to spin something so you can understand something in the way that benefits me. I'm telling you the straight shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you things that I regret more than anything that I've done in my life. And these are the type of things that every other person you would meet would never tell you, the most regretful things they've done in their life. But I'm going to share this publicly. These three things happened to happen around the same time in my life. I was around 15 years old in high school. My life was sort of spiraling out of control at that point, and I did most of the stupidest things in my life at that time. Okay, first, I liked this girl, okay? She was amongst a group of friends that I hung out with, and we were all mutual friends, but sometimes when we were alone, we would make out, and we kind of had like this, little developing relationship. I would say, I don't know if it would go anywhere, who knows, but one time it was, the weekend. I was over at a friend's house. We were all over there, and we were drinking, like we normally do on a weekend. This friend's house had a fire escape outside, and we would hang out there. We'd hang out in the apartment. We would be in different areas, and there was a bathroom that had a window that faced the fire escape. Nobody really hung out next to that window and that fire escape, because it's next to the bathroom, so kind of stayed away from there, so people could have their privacy and stuff. So one night I had it in my head that I was gonna, go over to that window when this girl that I liked was in the bathroom, and I was gonna knock on the window, and really I didn't know what I was gonna do after that. This was not well thought out. This was like, what the fuck? Now that I think about it, what was I doing? But anyway, so I'm knocking on the window. The girl's sitting there. The way it was, you could only see the top of the person's head, and their back was to you. So I'm knocking on the window. She's not really hearing me. I'm not knocking loud or anything. And she's just sitting there. All I see is the back of her head. She's going to the bathroom, obviously. Then she stands up. She starts putting on her pants or whatever. You can only see like the top of her head, really, maybe her shoulders, and I'm knocking, and then she finally spots me in the window, and she's freaked out, obviously, because she didn't hear me knocking. She's going to the bathroom. What the fuck am I doing there in the window looking at her, right? So she freaks out. She runs out of the bathroom. She tells everybody, what the fuck, Mickey's over here, in the window of the bathroom, and blah, 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 and now I'm the fucking peeping Tom and this and that. And then it turns out she was also on her period that day, and I'm like, okay. I don't know, that you can't, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, next, another weekend night, Friday, Saturday night, something like that. I was with the same group of friends. We were out drinking, as we always did on the weekends, and we were down at the 61st Street Park on the east side. It's next to the highway. It's kind of secluded down there, so it was a great spot for us high school kids to hang out and drink. For some reason, on this particular night, we were not actually in the park. We were closer to the river on the other side of the highway. There was another area there with benches and stuff. I think we had to go on a beer run or something. It was just going to be me and a friend of mine. And instead of taking the walkway, the bridge over the highway and stuff like that, this friend of mine convinced me to climb across the highway sign to get to the other side because it was kind of shorter. It was more direct. The highway sign was here. If we had to walk, we would have to go around and whatever. So he convinced me, yeah, let's take the highway sign. And we're both drunk, and it's like a Friday or Saturday night, and the highway traffic is whizzing by, and we're climbing across the highway sign. You know, one of those green highway signs that goes across, and we're climbing across. And then I get halfway through, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm above the highway. There's 3 lanes of traffic going by on that fucking FDR on like a Friday night. This is insanity. But instead of getting petrified with fear, because then I ran that scenario through my head. Oh yeah, the fucking highway gets shut down. I get on the news and they have to like pry me off of this thing and stop traffic with fucking fire engines and shit. So I'm like, no, forget that. So I keep going. I get across. My heart's pounding. He's already on the other side. He was quick. He seemed like he'd done it before. I don't know what's going on. But every time I think about that scenario in my head, I think, God, that was, if I was ever to die in my life, that was probably the most likely spot that it would have happened. Like, it was just so stupid and dangerous, and like my heart skips a beat every time I think about that pure stupidity. And finally, an event that helped me get kicked out of my second high school, I'm pretty sure. There was a teacher that I had in high school. She was, let's say, a morbidly obese woman, not too tall but very wide. And she wasn't a horrible person or anything. She had a funny odor, I remember. So one day, she's sick apparently, she's out, and we had phones in the classroom, and it was homeroom, and the whole class is sitting there. We don't have a teacher in the room at the moment, and one of the kids has the code to call out, and apparently he has her number. Somehow, I don't know how, he has her home number. So he's like, hey, Mickey, you want to prank call our teacher? And I said, yeah, sure, because I was kind of a jokester back then, kind of a class clown. So I'm like, hey, what the hell? So he dials the number, he dials out, starts ringing, I take the phone, she answers, hello, or something like that. And I said, and I quote, hello, obese person, have I got a weight loss plan for you? And then I hung up really fast. And then I thought about it, and I was like, wow, the eruption of laughter was going on, but I was like, it hit me what I just did, and then I realized, wow, I'm gonna be in trouble or something for this. That wasn't a good idea, because there was a whole classroom full of kids, and you know, I was pretty much on good rapport with everybody, but I knew that these people were not going to keep it to themselves what I did. You know, that somehow people were going to know he did it. Someone's going to tell. Now, somehow this never got brought up to me by any of the faculty. Nobody ever said, hey, was that you that did this and that? I probably would have denied it, because that would have just been, you know, how could I say, oh yeah, sorry about that? No, that was just, I think that's unforgivable what I did there. But anyways, I don't know. That's what it is. What it is. So that's it. That's the top 3 regrets of my life, and I would like to encourage you to continue this idea of truth and honesty and coming clean and stuff like that. So if you want to tell something you regret in comment, video form, send me a message, you know, whatever. It's like confession, you know, it's good. And we're all going to go in our separate paths, but we're all going to meet up in Truth Town and we're all going to be, truthiness and truthing it up. We're going to get to the bottom of this thing we call life. I guarantee it. Cock-a-doodle.